Allora, siamo qua in attesa dell'arrivo del classe e ancora non si chiama niente, infatti è una cosa molto strana. Ho incontrato lui, che è il mio vicino di posto in teatro, e aspettiamo, vediamo ancora. As a composer, what do you think about this new era of young composer getting known through the internet? Of young composer getting known through the internet?
Well, it's a good side to it. We can make records now and put them. The trouble is people have to find them.
Yeah.
That's the difficulty. But actually, to tell you the truth, for the younger artists, it's much more difficult now than when I was young.
Yeah, I think it's most difficult now.
People.
Yeah.
It was not expensive to. I could work 2 or 3 days a week and I had enough money. Now the young people have to work 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And they don't even live by themselves.
Me, I have to work all the year.
I know, it's the same thing. But when I was a kid, I could come to New York, and for $25 a month, I had a place to live.
No. Okay.
You could eat for a couple dollars a day.
Yeah.
Because that was 60 years ago.
60 years ago, okay.
A long time ago, but still, now the people, the good part is that the community of artists are very strong. They know each other, and there's a feeling of support for each other.
Oh yeah.
And when we were young, there were not even enough people to be angry at us. I mean, they just didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
In fact, our parents used to say to us, "When are you going to get a job?"
Yes, it's the same today. Yeah.
Oh, the same
My
thing.
parents too told me, get a job. What do you do with the piano?
real job.
A real job, yeah. But I have gotten a
some things
job.
haven't changed.
Okay. And
So you're a piano player?
yeah, I'm a piano player, not only a piano player. And I have this question, no? In a moment of your career, you chosen to take the distance from all the academic world of piano. Do you think is it possible also today to conduct a similar path?
Oh, sure. I think so. The way I chose not to be part of the established.
The classical, no?
No, I didn't do that. I didn't teach anywhere.
Yes.
I was offered my first teaching job when I was 75.
75.
And I said, it's too late. And they said, no, it's never too late. I said, yes, it is. It's too late. I'm not going to do it. But I thought the independence was more important.
Okay.
And the people who took the jobs in the schools, I said, why do you do that? They say, well, I have to get paid every week. So you have to have a little bit of strength to live that way. But we call it freelance. Do you do that?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I've done my whole life as freelance, most of life.
So do you
Most
think
of the people here are
it's
doing
the
that.
better way, no?
What's that?
To be a composer today, like a freelancer?
I think it's the best way.
The best way.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Because for a composer, you don't have to ask somebody's permission.
Okay.
You do the concert yourself.
Yes.
I decided when I finished music school, I was never going to send a score away and ask them to approve it. Because for one thing, I was sure they would say no, so I didn't want to do it.
Yes.
And I simply found another way. And I find a lot of the young people now, composers especially, are also playing much more than when I was young. Because they see that this is a path to find an audience. Now in the theater, we have parts of New York. I was talking about. I was talking to a friend of ours who is an actor. And I was talking about there's a lot of theater, small little theater companies.
Yes, more.
They play sometimes in Brooklyn. They play in storefronts and empty houses. Maybe a concert. They'll do a play for 30 people, 20 people.
Oh yes, but in Italy it's the same situation.
It's
Me play always
this is a
40
powerful
people.
Development in our culture, and probably your culture too.
Okay.
Because you have to go and find it, but I find that work extremely interesting, and I find the spirit of the people is very pure.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
And now, in our country, it's going to be a little bit more like that because I think the government's not going to be very interested in the arts. But to be truthful, the government never was interested. We don't have, they're never interested.
Oh, the government
I don't get into
never trust the music.
I give them money. They don't give me
only
money.
only the measure. The measure, I have to say, is the better way to play music in Italy because the measure trusts you as a musician. Yes, the measure, like him,
Yeah.
the mayor, excuse me, trust the musician in Italy.
No. Only guitar when I was young, but it's better the deputy and.
Okay, you put it down. Okay. But I think this is the independence of the artist is. It's been like that, but between the Second World War and the First World War, there was also a lot of that kind of work happening in Paris and Berlin and London.
Oh, okay.
But that's the best time.
Best time.
And we're in a time like that right now, where the social issues seem very negative. When that happens, the artists become very positive.
Yeah, I think it's a very positive period, no?
It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it.
Because, for example, I can take music on the internet and be known from a lot of people. So it's not like in the past. In the past, it was more difficult, maybe.
Well, also, you understand the value of your time.
Yes.
You know, we all have to work. Most of us work. Few people have money, but most of us have to work. So that makes it more difficult. Right now, there are a lot of people, so it's difficult. But even so, freelance people, it's a very good spirit.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. With this guy, is he the only one?
He's the one making questions.
In which way Italy inspired your music?
Well, there's been we studied the music from the Renaissance. From that time onward, was here. I was once in Bologna. This is a very important event for me. I went to a museum, and they had some scores of Mozart there, because he was there when he was a child. Now here's the thing, and they opened the score, there were harmony exercises, and I looked at them, and it was mistakes in it. I was so happy. I said, oh, he made mistakes. Because I always thought he was like this angel. But so that's from that time, Italy has always been a very place people like to come here. I've been coming here since the early 70s.
70s.
It's been a very good place. So the inspiration, it comes from a lot of things. There's a particular, you're very aware of it. I think you may not be so, you live in the middle of it, so you don't see it so well. But we see it when we come here. Just the architecture of we're looking at the buildings here saying, my God, we just don't have them. They're just beautiful, and the food, I mean, the whole thing.
Whole thing.
Yeah. However, and I think there have been great art, certainly there have been great artists from here, great musicians. And we study that music. So this has always been a very important place for ideas and arts. And I think a lot of things came from here.
Yes.
So when we have a tour and we come to Italy, we always think that's a good tour. We always like to come here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question for you, which is kind of an intimate question.
A private.
Yeah,
feeling.
private
Forget that
question.
one
Yeah.
right now.
Be scared.
So the question is, what kind of music do you listen to right now at the moment, especially when you wake up in the morning during the day?
You have to understand that mostly I'm hearing my own music.
Yeah.
So we do it all. But I traveled around the world a little bit, and I'm very fond of the music of South India. Some of the singing is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I got interested in global music, so I'm more liable to hear music like that, whether it's from Africa or from Asia. I learned a lot about music when I was very young because my father had a little record store. It wasn't a big store, it was just but all the music was there. So by the time I was 15, I was the buyer for the store. I knew all the records, I knew all the artists, and he never said to me, these are the good composers and these are the bad ones. He never said that. He says that this is the music. Different people bought different music. But when people came to the store and they said they wanted to buy a Beethoven symphony, I was 15. I said, well, do you like it fast or do you like it slow? If you like it fast, you get Toscanini. You want it slow, you get first volume. So I knew all of them. That was, and that, Italy was always a part of that too. I don't know, what was your question?
Which is your own album do you prefer in your discography?
There's different ones, you know. I mean, right now I'm very interested in the Satyagraha, the opera about Gandhi, because it's funny. I wrote that piece in the 1980s. It seems very relevant now, because we have people marching in the streets in America. It's great. I love it actually. And we haven't had that since the Vietnam War. But now we have people in the streets again. That's fantastic. So, and this opera, Satyagraha, was done at the Met a few years ago. And there were some young groups that Occupy movement. And they asked me if I would, I was going to the opera the last night, and they asked me if I would come, and they wanted me to make a speech from the stage. I said, look, they'll never let me on the stage, first of all. No way I can get on the stage. They said, well, would I come and talk? Because they wanted to have a demonstration in front of me. And I said, yeah, let's do that. So we did that, but then the head of the opera company provided an escort to get me there. And it was very funny. But I like that. That piece was very relevant. I think it's still. The other things are the movies of Godfrey Reggio, those the qatsi movies. Do you know the kinds? They're very much about the world we're living in. It's about the impact of technology on traditional ways of living. I mean, all of these are very interesting questions, and artists are able, when we allow that, when that content comes into the work becomes very relevant. I still write. I like to write string quartets, and like the piano music you're going to hear tonight, it has no political agenda at all, and we spend a lot of time working on that and making it. But in a way, I had a piece in Washington D.C., right in the Capitol, that was about the Voting Rights Act in 1965, and I didn't think anybody would come. Actually, it sold out every show. We did 7 performances there. And the 2 people from the Supreme Court came to see it. So it's possible for the artist to be involved with political events. And to, we always say, well, what can we do? Well, not everybody can write an opera, but you can do marches, but for some of us, it's an opportunity to do these things. So that's, we're heading in our country, we're heading into that right now. This is going to be a very vocal, actually it's very good for the country, to be truthful.
Do you like to remember the qatsi trilogy?
Yes, remember it. We play it every year, a dozen times. We played it in Amsterdam twice. The first time 5,000 people came, the second time 6,000 people came. That piece is not an old piece. I mean, that piece is just still around. Those movies, movies don't stick around. That was made in 1981. So we're talking about 35 years later, people are still going to see it. That's amazing. But he was a very interesting filmmaker. He understood that his intention was to the name of it, he calls himself the International Education, REF. It's an educational institute, but they don't have classes, they make movies. And so far has made 4 or 5 movies. So that's important too. But that's not necessarily what I think I like best. I mean, in a funny way, like the piano music we're going to hear tonight, that has a better chance of lasting than anything, because You don't need $1 million to put on a piano concert yet.
We have to go. I hate to be such a bad girl.
But it's very hard.
Allora, sono appena arrivato al teatro, abbiamo fatto poco fa l'aperitivo con Glass e inizierà il concerto tra 10 minuti e adesso volevo farvi vedere dove sono, in questo posto fantastico, al secondo piano del teatro. Tra l'altro sono riuscito a farmi autografare sia il disco di qatsi e mi ha fatto i complimenti per la copia perché comunque ha detto come sei riuscito a trovare un vinile di qatsi in versione tedesca. È stato molto emozionante incontrare Glass dal vivo perché è uno dei miei idoli insieme a Kate Jarrett. Ciao. E ti è piaciuto quindi l'incontro che abbiamo avuto prima?
Molto, infatti adesso mi aspettavo qualcosa di molto più formale, invece è stato un
Molto
grande
bello.
piacere, mi è venuto sin dall'inizio tutto la data, una settimana qua, una settimana là,
A parte il bicchiere,
ci sta, poi slavi.
no, però a me sono piaciute molto le risposte. Perché non è stato sbrigativo, è stato molto.
Anzi, sarebbe andato avanti.
Secondo me sarebbe stato avanti ancora lì. Bene. Allora dai, buon concerto.
Buon concerto.
impressioni a caldo?
Come entrare in un'altra dimensione quando suona, poi si viene veramente rapiti, scompare tutto, no?
Sì.
Quando ascolti la sua musica, è ipnotica, ma guarda, è come, non so, è come viaggiare su una nave, vedi solo mare aperto e non vedi nient'altro. Tutto questo.
Sono appena uscito dal teatro e il concerto è stato veramente uno spettacolo e mi ha fatto viaggiare tantissimo. Non so proprio che dire, perché sono ancora con la mente immerso in tutte queste musiche ed ho immaginato di essere su una nave che mi portava in giro, mi faceva fare viaggi incredibili, pazzesco. Per chi non conosce Philip Glass vi consiglio di ascoltarlo, su Spotify trovate tutta la sua discografia ed inoltre vi consiglio di guardare Cogliani Scazzi, film in cui lui ha fatto la colonna sonora, un film degli anni '80, molto 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 valido. Ciao a tutti, ci vediamo alla prossima recensione, buonanotte.